Where are you? I asked, already knowing the answer. At the office, my husband, Mike, calmly replied, not changing his tone. But I knew he was lying because he was standing right in front of me, betraying me without hesitation. Fine, I thought, I have my own plans too, and I'll do whatever it takes to get back at you. My name is Karen, and I'm 33 years old. After finishing college, I landed a job at a big international company, my dream job. The pay was good, but the work was tough, and I had to travel a lot for business. My job was becoming my life. When I turned 29, I started feeling lonely and went to a social event that a friend invited me to. That's where I met my husband, Mike. Mike was the same age as me, and unlike me, he worked a regular 9 to 5 job. He didn't have to travel for work or move to different places. Because of that, I made more money than him. After dating for about a year, when we were thinking about getting married, he looked at me, worried, and asked, "Can I really make you happy? I don't earn as much as you." I was surprised and told him, "Why does that matter? I'm with you because I love you, not for your money." He looked at me with doubt, but to me, even his worried expression was cute. I told him how I truly felt. "I want you, Mike. I love you for who you are, no one else." He smiled and said, "Thank you, Karen. I want to be with you too." A month later, he proposed, and that fall, we had a beautiful wedding surrounded by our friends and family. Even with my busy job, I was happy. Almost 2 years passed, and everything was going well. I started thinking about having children, but then, one day, I came home from work, and Mike wasn't there. He usually came home before me, so I was worried. I checked the house, but he was gone, and his shoes were missing. I checked my phone, but there were no messages or missed calls. I started to panic. I called him, and when he picked up, he sounded relaxed. "Mike, are you okay?" I asked, trying to stay calm. "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" he answered. "Well, I just got home, and you weren't here. You didn't leave me any messages, so I got worried," I explained. "Sorry, I have to work overtime today." "Overtime? You've never done that before," I said, curious. After a brief silence, Mike mumbled, "Well, I've been given a big project. If it goes well, I might get promoted. That's why I need to work extra hours, even though it's tough." "A promotion? That's great," I said, feeling happy for him. "Yeah, so I'll probably be working overtime more often now. Don't worry about me. See ya," he said quickly before hanging up. Even though Mike hung up so abruptly, I felt happy. Mike finally has a chance for a promotion. I thought he had always been concerned about the difference in our incomes, and I hoped this would boost his confidence. I never minded how much he made, but if his income went up, it would be even better for us, especially if we start a family. Since that day, though, Mike stopped coming home at his usual time. He even worked on his days off, and we hardly spent any time together. I came home to an empty house almost every day, and when he was off, he was still out. It was lonelier than I expected. I wished he could come home early sometimes, or we could just relax on his day off together, but I didn't want to bother him, since his promotion was so important. So, I decided not to confront him, and instead focus more on my own work to keep busy. I'd even had an overseas business trip coming up soon, so I worked harder, thinking it was better than coming home to an empty house. But the more time passed, the less I saw him, and it started to weigh on me. I couldn't bear it anymore, so I decided to tell him how I felt. "Welcome home, Mike. There's something I want to talk to you about," I said one evening when he finally came back. "Talk? Does it have to be today? I'm really tired," he said, looking worn out. I was shocked and didn't know what to say, but I knew I couldn't give up now. "I'm sorry, but it's really important to me," I continued, trying to stay calm. "Fine, if you have something to say it quickly. I need to sleep early for work tomorrow," he replied, clearly annoyed. "Tomorrow is Saturday. Are you going to work on your day off again?" I asked. "Sometimes you should just relax at home." "Enough already," Mike snapped. "You're nagging. I'm busy. Don't you get it?" Is it fun for you to bother me? That's not what I meant. I tried to explain. Please stop bothering me. Don't you realize how important this time is for me? He said angrily. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. His face twisted with anger, something I had never seen before. It startled me. I'm tired. I'm going to bed, he said and left the room. Left alone, I started to shake with fear. What just happened? I thought. I had never seen Mike act like this. I knew he was busy, but there was no need for him to speak to me that way. My frustration was growing, but I couldn't bring myself to say anything. Normally, we would talk and resolve things, but now I was too scared to share my true feelings. As my overseas business trip drew closer, I had been working late. On one particularly late day, I rushed to the train station, but the train was delayed. Thinking Mike might have gotten home before me, I decided to take a taxi. Excuse me, can you take me to this address? I asked the driver, giving him the address of our apartment. The car started moving, but during the ride, I was too tired to even check my phone. I just stared blankly out the window. Stop the car, I suddenly shouted. I couldn't believe my eyes. Across the street, I saw Mike walking with a woman I didn't recognize. You've got to be kidding me, I thought. Isn't Mike supposed to be working late? Who is this woman? They were holding hands, and then I saw them kiss. It felt like a punch to the gut. Without thinking, I pulled out my phone and started recording them as proof of his cheating. They walked arm in arm, completely unaware. The driver's voice snapped me back to reality. Ma'am, he asked, concerned. I stopped recording. When I got home, Mike wasn't there. I called him, wanting to hear the truth, but he didn't pick up. I tried again and again, and finally, he answered. Stop calling me. If I don't pick up, it means I can't talk. All right, he said angrily. I'm sorry, but I need to ask you something. I'm working overtime, he said. We'll talk later. Overtime? You mean cheating, right? I asked, my heart pounding. There was silence. Then, in an angry voice, he replied, How could you accuse me of that? After all the work I've been doing, you're unbelievable. Forget it. I'm not coming home tonight, he said and hung up. From the way he reacted, it felt like my worst fear was confirmed. Mike was cheating on me. A strange feeling washed over me, not quite anger or sadness. So, he really is cheating on me, I thought. We need to talk. Things can't stay like this. Mike didn't come home that night, just like he said. Afterward, he came home, but we didn't talk. There was no conversation, no chance for a real discussion. And soon, it was time for my 2-week business trip overseas. On the morning I was leaving, while I was unsure how to approach Mike, he started the conversation. Karen, you're leaving for your business trip today, right? Be careful, okay? Oh, yes, thank you. 2 weeks is a long time, he continued. You go on these trips a lot, but I still can't get used to it. I feel lonely. Lonely? Do you really feel that way? I asked, surprised. Of course, things have been awkward between us lately, right? I want to clear up any misunderstandings. Let's have a nice dinner when you get back. Is he just saying this to cover up his cheating? I thought. His words felt fake, like he was trying to hide something. But, for some reason, I chose to believe him. I guess my love for him hadn't completely faded. Despite everything, his smile, which I hadn't seen in a long time, made me want to believe in him, even though deep down, I knew better. Let's have a proper talk when I get back, I told him, then left for my trip. The trip ended earlier than expected, and I decided to return home without telling Mike. I thought I could surprise him by cooking dinner and waiting for him. I arrived in New York around 11 a.m. and headed straight home. Arriving around 1 p.m., as soon as I opened the door, I frowned. What is this? I thought, stunned. A pair of pink shoes was by the entrance. My heart started pounding. I heard Mike's voice, along with a woman's voice, coming from the living room. Slowly, I tiptoed down the hallway and peeked around the corner. There they were, Mike and the woman I saw the other day. They were in their underwear, drinking together. Hey, Mike, are you sure it's okay for me to be here? Won't your wife find out? The woman asked in a sweet voice. Nah, it's fine. She's on a business trip until the day after tomorrow, Mike responded. Perfect. It's my birthday and your wife isn't home. Exactly. We can't relax and spend time together, Mike said, hugging her. I felt sick. I couldn't believe he would do this in the apartment that I rented under my name. Trying to stay calm, I pulled out my phone and recorded the scene. Once they were settled, I quietly left the apartment, sweat pouring down my face, my heart pounding in my chest. Even then, a part of me still wanted to believe in him. I wished it was all a bad dream, but I seen Cat replaying in my mind, and I knew I couldn't stay with him anymore. It was time to take action. I dialed Mike's number, and when he answered casually with hello, I tried to sound urgent. Hey, where are you right now? I asked. Huh, I'm at work, of course. What time do you think it is? Yeah, but it seems like someone's at our apartment. There was silence on the other end. His voice started to waver. What? I decided to press him a bit more. So, I came back early from my trip, and when I got to the front door, I could hear people talking inside. Wait, you mean you're standing outside the apartment right now? Yes, that's right. Mike, what should I do? Should I go inside to check? I asked, trying to set a trap for him. I wanted to see if he would admit to cheating, or if we could have an honest conversation and fix things, but my hopes were crushed when he shouted, Could it be a burglar? Get out of there now. Leave immediately. At that moment, all my remaining feelings for him disappeared. Instead of admitting or apologizing, he chose to hide the affair in such a pathetic way. Just get somewhere safe, he insisted before hanging up. I called the police next. Hello, is this the police? I think there's a burglar in my house. I can't hear unfamiliar voices. They responded quickly, and a few minutes later, 2 officers arrived. I explained the situation, and we went to my apartment together. When one officer rang the doorbell, Mike came out, looking shocked. Why are the police here? He asked, eyes wide. Are you the resident? The officers asked. Yes, I am, but there's no burglar here. At the moment, I stepped out from behind the officers. Mike's face paled when he saw me. Why are you here? He muttered, looking nervous. I apologized to the officers and said it must have been a mistake. As they left, I glanced inside the apartment. There was no sign of his mistress. He must have gotten rid of her when I called. Why did you call the police? He asked angrily. That's so annoying. You were the one who said there might be a burglar, Mike. Besides, weren't you supposed to be at work? Why are you home? Never mind. Just look at this, I said, pulling up the video on my phone. As he watched it, his face turned pale. This isn't what it looks like, Karen. Are you seriously still making excuses? Sweat started to form on his forehead. He looked desperate but still couldn't bring himself to apologize. Just stop. It's clear you're a liar and a cheater, who can't even say sorry when you get caught, I said coldly. How does it feel to lie, cheat, and think you wouldn't get caught? Wait, Karen, I get it. I'll apologize. Your apologies mean nothing to me now. In fact, they're worth less than nothing, I said coldly. Even if you apologize, I will never forgive you. I'll sue you for emotional distress, and that woman too. I hope you both rot in hell, you jerks. Fueled by anger, I kicked Mike out of the house and locked the door. He made a scene outside for a while, but I ignored him, and he eventually left. Later, I got a call from my in-laws. Mike had gone to them, saying he had nowhere to go. When I explained the situation to them, they were furious. They made Mike write and send me the divorce papers. Thanks to their help, my divorce was finalized quickly. The day after the papers were accepted, my in-laws kicked Mike out and cut ties with him. I also sued Mike and the woman he cheated with for emotional distress, demanding a lump sum payment. The other woman turned out to be Linda, a receptionist at his company. Their affair became public at work, and Linda quit because she couldn't handle the shame. As for Mike, he now faces the judgmental stares of his co-workers and somehow gets through work. I later found out that his promotion had been a lie, just a cover to hide the affair. I felt foolish for being deceived by such a man, but at least I made the right choice to divorce him. Now, I'm focused on my work and aiming for higher positions. I'm determined to prove that marriage isn't the only way to be happy, and I'm ready to live life on my own terms.